They all smiled when the lawyer read her name. My sister, Olivia, will inherit the house, the savings, the car, the jewel reverie thing. Everyone clapped, except me. I just sat there, silent. I didn't even flinch. Because what they didn't know was that in my coat pocket, I held a sealed envelope written by my mother, in her handwriting, dated just 3 weeks before she died. It had one sentence inside. And it would change everything. You see, Olivia had always been the golden child, the one who threw tantrums and still got rewarded, the one who missed Thanksgiving and still got praised. And me? I was the one who stayed home, who drove Mom to every doctor's appointment, who sat by her side while she cried in the middle of the night. But apparently, all that wasn't enough, because when she died, they erased me. The will didn't mention me, not once. But Mom was smarter than that. She left something no one expected. And the moment I pulled it out, the air in the room changed. My sister's smile cracked. My uncle leaned forward. The lawyer blinked twice. And as I opened the letter and began to read, their entire world started to fall apart. So what was in that letter? And why did my mom hide it from every except me? I wasn't always invisible. Growing up, Olivia and I were just two sisters with scraped knees and matching lunchboxes. But even then, people treated us differently. Olivia had the bright smile, the charm, the ability to lie with a straight face and still get dessert. I was quieter, more observant, the one who colored inside the lines and got overlooked for it. Our mother adored Olivia's shine, and I never blamed her for it, at least. Not at first. Dad left when we were still in middle school, and I watched Mom break apart slowly, piece by piece, hiding her pain behind lipstick and polite smiles. I was the one who picked up the pieces behind closed doors, the one who washed the dishes when she forgot dinner, who sat silently by her door while she cried herself to sleep. Olivia was gone most nights, dating boys with loud cars and bad tempers. And every time she came home, Mom would drop everything and run to her like she was a lost princess returning from war. When I graduated college, I stayed in town to be near Mom. Olivia moved to LA and posted selfies from champagne brunches while I took her to chemotherapy. The truth is, I never asked for anything, not money, not praise, not recognition. I just wanted to do what was right. And in Mom's final year, when she got weaker and quieter, I was the one who changed her bed sheets, managed her pills, made her tea exactly the way she liked it, with honey, not sugar. We barely spoke about the will. She always said, "You'll be taken care of, sweetheart." I haven't forgotten who was really here. I didn't need proof. Her voice was enough, until it wasn't. After she died, everything changed. Olivia flew back in a silk blouse and crocodile tears, made herself the center of attention, took control of the funeral, the lawyer, the guests. She cried louder than anyone, even though she hadn't seen Mom in nearly 2 years. I tried to stay composed. I thought maybe we'd find a way to grieve together. Maybe this time would be different. But at the reading of the will, when Mom's name was spoken for the last time, it was Olivia's name that followed every single sentence. The house, the car, the bank accounts, even Mom's wedding ring. My name didn't appear once. Not in passing. Not even as an afterthought. I felt the floor shift under me. But I didn't interrupt. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just reached into my pocket and held on to the only thing that still connected me to the truth Mom's hidden letter, sealed and untouched. And I knew the storm was only just beginning. The room was quiet when the lawyer finished reading. No one said a word at first. Olivia sat with a smug, satisfied smile, like a queen finally crowned. My aunt leaned over to congratulate her. My cousin whispered something and laughed. I watched them all from across the table like a stranger. I didn't belong there. Not anymore. And yet, I stayed seated. The envelope in my pocket burned like fire. It was still unopened, sealed in the exact way I'd found it tucked behind a stack of old books on Mom's nightstand. Just a few days after the funeral. I wasn't even looking for anything. I was just cleaning. But there it was. A pale blue envelope with my name in her handwriting, and a small note beneath it that said, Give this to the lawyer if anything feels wrong. I hadn't known what it meant at first. But now everything made sense. Olivia stood up. Well, thank you all for coming, she said, smoothing her designer skirt. I think Mom would be happy knowing she brought us all together one last time. She reached out to hug the lawyer, already talking about getting the locks changed and moving in next week. My hands trembled. Not with rage, not even sadness, but with the unbearable weight of truth. I pulled the letter out and placed it on the table. Wait, I said quietly. Everyone turned. Olivia froze. The lawyer looked confused. What's that? Olivia asked, her voice too casual, too sharp. A letter, I said, locking eyes with her. From Mom, for the lawyer. I handed it over. The room went still. The paper crinkled as the lawyer opened it. His eyes scanned the page, then stopped. He read it again, and again. Then he looked up. This changes things, he said slowly. Olivia's face drained of color. What are you talking about? She snapped. The will is final. The lawyer shook his head. Your mother wrote this 3 weeks before she passed. It's signed, dated, and notarized. And in it, she clearly states that the previous will is void. That's not possible, Olivia said, her voice cracking. She would have told me. She didn't tell anyone, I replied. But she left it for me to find. Let me see that, Olivia barked, reaching for the paper. The lawyer pulled it away. This is legal, he said firmly. It names your sister as the sole heir. The words echoed through the room like thunder. My sister stood frozen, her mouth opening and closing like she was searching for oxygen. My aunt gasped. Someone dropped a glass. I just sat back in my chair, calm and steady, like a storm that had already passed. For the first time in years, I felt like Mom had seen me, really seen me. And she had made it right in her own quiet, brilliant way. Olivia didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just sat down, stunned. Her victory had vanished in a single sentence. The silence in the room was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. Olivia sat frozen, her perfectly polished fingers gripping the edge of the table like it was the only thing keeping her upright. The lawyer read the letter aloud this time, slowly, as if making sure every word landed where it was meant to. I, Margaret Elaine Hart, declare this document my final will and testament. I hereby revoke all previous versions and leave the entirety of my estate home, possessions, savings, and any remaining accounts to my daughter, Emily Hart. That was my name. The one she never said during the earlier reading. The one not a single person in that room thought would appear. But it did. Signed, dated, notarized, witnessed, ironclad. This is impossible, Olivia mumbled, her voice shaking now. There has to be some mistake. Mom would never, but she didn't finish, because deep down, she knew. She knew Mom and I had something real, something Olivia had walked away from years ago. This wasn't revenge. This wasn't about punishment. It was about truth, about love that stayed through sickness and pain, about who showed up when it mattered. I was always going to share, I said, breaking the silence. But you left me no choice when you erased me from everything. Mom saw it, Olivia. She knew what you were doing. Olivia's lip trembled, and suddenly all her strength drained out of her. She stood up and stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind her. Everyone else stayed silent. No one defended her. Not this time. The lawyer looked at me differently now. So did my aunt. My cousin leaned back, eyes wide with disbelief. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt seen, not celebrated, not praised, just finally seen for who I was and what I had done. Over the next few days, everything changed. The locks were rekeyed, the accounts were transferred. The house that Olivia had planned to redesign and flip was mine. The photo albums, the jewelry, even Mom's favorite teacup, I found them still boxed, untouched. She hadn't even unpacked a thing. That's how little it mattered to her. But to me, every corner of the house breathed my mother's memory. Her scent still lingered in the linen closet. Her handwriting on post-it notes still stuck to old recipe books. One afternoon, I found a second envelope tucked in the back of her sewing drawer. Inside was a short note. No formalities, no legal jargon. Just 4 simple words. Thank you for staying. I sat there on the floor, clutching it, crying harder than I had at her funeral. Because that was the real inheritance. Not the money. Not the property. But the acknowledgement. The love. The truth she had left behind in whispers only I was meant to hear. Olivia never reached out again. She blocked me on everything. Maybe she hated me. Maybe she hated herself. I didn't need to know. I just kept the letter, framed it, and placed it above the fireplace, where her picture used to be. Some people think inheritance is about money, about houses and jewelry and the number printed on a check. But that's not what I walked away with. What I inherited was something heavier, something quieter. I inherited the truth of who I was to my mother. Not the forgotten daughter, not the shadow behind the golden child, but the one who stayed, who loved her through every ugly, difficult, beautiful moment. I see her every day now in the garden she used to tend, in the mug she always filled with chamomile tea, in the way the sunlight hits the kitchen window just before noon. I still cry sometimes. But it's different now. It's not from pain. It's from release. From knowing that she saw me, even when the world didn't. That she left me not just her things, but her voice. A voice that had been drowned out for too long by louder, flashier people. There are days when I wonder if Olivia will ever come back, if we'll ever speak again. But the truth is, I don't need her to. Forgiveness doesn't require an audience, it just requires letting go. And I've let go. Of needing to be understood. Of begging to be included. Of proving I deserved anything. The letter proved it for me. Mom's final words carried more weight than 1,000 apologies, and that's something no one can ever take away. So if you've ever been the one left out, the one silenced, the one told you didn't matter, I hope you remember this story. I hope you remember that sometimes the quiet ones hold the loudest truth. And when the time is right, that truth has a way of finding its voice. Tell me, if you found a letter like that, would you stay silent? Or would you open the door they tried to shut forever?